Hello guys, and welcome back to War in the Pacific with our Allied playthrough. First difference you might notice from the last episode is that there's no music. Why? Because turns out one single song in this game is copyrighted, and yeah, so that's fun. I had to completely re-render last video in order to cut that song out because it was the only one where it was detected for some reason. I guess my voice was just went over the other ones. Anyway, last turn, we had a pretty interesting day. I'm going to show you the ship sunk first. So, this is a midget submarine that we have confirmed died, hit obstruction at Pearl Harbor. So, either this is the one that hit a mine that we heard, or maybe this is the one we caught in a net. I don't know what hit obstruction is, but we also lost an AKL, a very small transport. It was hit by a 250 kg bomb. I guess it was hit by maybe the light carrier, or some Japanese plane hit it, clearly. It was a Filipino transport. I didn't even realize they had transports, but there you go. It was a Filipino transport, and it was sank just in the middle of the ocean. Probably one of the ones that I left out in the open as bait, to be honest. We have confirmed, finally lost our first ship, and it was a Filipino light transport, basically. We have confirmed we killed a midget submarine, gained us 3 points. I believe this is confirmed as well. I think we saw this and heard it during the last turn. A transport, a cargo transport, which had some troops on it, I think. We hit it with a Mark 14. I don't even know if I remember sinking it or not. This game has so much information you have to process every turn, but I think this is a confirmation that we have sank it. This, I still doubt it. If we actually take a look at the points we gained for sinking Japanese ships, they add up to everything else. Let me show you. 10 and 3, 13. They do not add this, so I think I have just discovered a new way to, or maybe the only way to confirm that something is a reliable report or not. Because whereas this should not be confirmed in one turn, it is. It's here, and it adds up to 13. This has been here for 2 turns now. It's been here since after Pearl Harbor, and there's not 274 points there, so maybe my Allied score here is accounting for that. Maybe the report's here, but the victory points is how you know whether or not you actually sank a big thing if you compare it to the previous turn. Maybe. I don't know. Take a look at the aircraft losses. This past turn wasn't nearly as exciting in terms of losses for both sides. It was definitely worse for us than them. The most exciting thing probably was when the Kido Butai launched another air raid on one of the western islands on Hawaii, but there was nothing there. There was nothing to hit. And we just had a miniature fight. Apparently we shot down 2 Zeros. Don't know if that was both over the same location, but again, if it's even remotely true, then that's cool, I guess. So far, we are winning in terms of ships being sank. We are winning in terms of planes being destroyed. We are getting our butts kicked on the ground, but that's because they're invading a bunch of bases and fighting a bunch of troops that really just cannot resist them, which is a shame. We still are winning the base race, of course, but the way that the beginning of this war works is it's just going to quickly go against us. That's unfortunate. Ground units destroyed. Nothing yet, however. So I guess this is just from losing bases that we're losing these army points because, well, no, that's a lie. We had a pretty terrible fight that happened in China. That's probably where a lot of that comes from, actually. Well, okay, that makes sense. Let's see if there's anything that we will be getting soon. In 2 days, we will get the Hobart and a troop transport. A troop transport and some cargo transports in San Diego will actually be pretty useful with how it's been going, and I'll show you why in a second. But let's take a look at the air. So 1 day to arrival, Eastern USA. We got some Wildcats. We could probably redeploy them or use them for training. I don't know. And 2 Catalina groups arriving in... Okay, no, I sent these here from Eastern USA. I sent them to San Francisco, probably. That's these ones, because I want to redeploy some of the, what were training patrol boats into the Pacific so that they could actually work rather than train. You can train just by doing your job. How about that, right? So that's what that's all about. And as for ground reinforcements, we don't get any more until 3 days from now. In Cape Town and Aden, we'll get some British troops, I guess. They're in the Indian Corps. I'm not sure if this is an actual British troop or not, but it's just an AA. But there's a British AT gun regiment. It's just an arty group. I don't know why it says AT. I guess it's AT guns. You'd think AT guns would have an assault value, but they don't. Whatever. Every game handles this kind of stuff differently. But that's generally what happened there. We had some encounters, some fights. The most notable was actually out here in, well, okay, maybe not the most notable, but the one that actually continues over to this turn to some extent was Wake Island. We have over 2,000, apparently, enemy troops on Wake Island, and we only have a small Marine Defense Battalion here to defend them, and they only have, like, 231 infantry. They're outnumbered 10-1. So I was trying to figure out what to do with these Wildcats, because if I disband or withdraw, they get destroyed anyway. There's nothing I can do to fix that. I can't get them out of here. I can't transfer them. Drop tanks aren't available. They haven't been. And the only way to really get them out of here is to move something over here to fetch them. And the whole game, I'm pretty sure, the disband and withdraw has been read. That may not be true. Maybe at the very first turn it was not like this, but I don't know. I don't think it was. Let me turn off the replacements here. What I went ahead and did to try to minimize my losses for now, I'm not going to disband this. By some miracle, maybe we'll live. I doubt it. But I got rid of every single pilot in the group. I sent them all to the reserve. They were all hovering around 47 to 60 experience, so I sent them to the reserve, as you can see. So we actually have fighter pilots in the reserve for once. We have like almost nothing in the reserve. I think replacement units, when they get trained enough, go into the reserve. Otherwise, you have to train yourself. You have to train them yourself, which is faster, I believe, and put them into the reserve. I'm not fully educated on how that works. This game has a lot of information, and again, this is my first playthrough of it. So, yeah. Rather than just hand the Japanese the free victory points, because I tested it, and it does give them victory points for destroying all of these planes, I'm just going to leave these here, and if they die, they die. If they don't, they don't. Oh well, who we gonna lose? Major Putnam? Major Putnam, this randomly generated major that probably isn't important at all. I mean, he's a pretty good one, but I mean, I'll just let it go as it goes, and maybe we'll hold Wake and I can get some more pilots there and use that group again. Maybe not. The Kido Butai is still running away. It's going straight west now. I'm moving some subs to try to get in its way. I'm moving some subs all over the place. I'm moving even more escorts back to California, including these patrol craft and these destroyer minesweepers I had on ASW, because I've actually started moving stuff now. Not just, transports and convoys, which are still loading up and moving, but also I am loading troop transports here. This one has an engineer battalion or something that it's going to load up, and it's going to go to Penryn Island. Let me show you where that is. It's way out here, Penryn Island. And I'm going to try to build this up. I have 2 units pegged for it right now. A engineer group and then a support group that will provide aviation and naval support. It can't be built up that much, but it has a port. It has the capability to expand further, if it being a little difficult. I don't want to do very much with this. All I really actually want from this is a little port. That's all I want, a resupply point. It's an atoll. You can't stack a lot of units. Maybe I'll get a defense battalion down there eventually. That's what I have in mind. I'll probably use a U.S. defense battalion, even though it's a New Zealand base. The New Zealand troops are hard to move. None of them are on an unrestricted HQ that I would really send there, and the best ones to send there really would be these brigades, but they're also expensive. 181 to change out of the New Zealand command, and I just can't afford that. I had 102 upon starting this turn. I haven't really spent any of them. I'm just kind of saving them for right now. Maybe I will move some of them. I don't know. There's a bunch of other islands over here that we could build up. But I was thinking, one of those brigades would be perfect because they have engineers. I could send it to Penryn Island, but at the same time, I just don't want to pay that much. I'd rather just send the U.S. units, quite frankly. I guess if I do free up any of these brigades, and there's not a lot of them, I could use them on some of these other islands. I know this is Australian, so maybe I would want to send an Australian group over here. I think a lot of this stuff over here is Australian. Yeah, it is. So again, maybe I'd want to send those guys over there, but Vavau, I remember, needed some engineers, some proper engineers, so I'll probably end up sending one of those brigades to Vavau. Maybe somewhere I had pegged an engineer group to go there, maybe not, but I know what I could spend one of the brigades on, and that's sending it to Vavau, if I even want to spend my points on New Zealand troops to begin with. That's really iffy on whether or not I even need to do that, whether or not I even want to do that. I have another transport loading up some troops over here. It's not this, but let me find it. EAB, here I have two, I lied. The 34th Infantry something and the 161st Infantry something. They're just being sent down to Pearl Harbor, where the rest of their units are located, and they're going to merge into those. As you can see, I plan on getting a lot more active with all my naval movements now that the Kido Butai is moving away. Now that a lot of the transports are arriving in places like San Francisco, I'm sending more units from certain cities elsewhere, like Seattle. I have on Stratmove another engineer force. This is actually a support force, really. I clicked the wrong thing. I have a new mouse, so I may not click the right thing all the time. I'm not used to this mouse. It's very heavy. My old Razer Mamba Tournament Edition borked the other day, so now I'm using a Logitech G600. In case you're curious, you're probably not, but I told you anyway. Did this group just arrive? They did. I get them on combat. I swear to God, I spent hours working on these turns, and there's still something I managed to miss every single time. I have a lot of other units pegged for different islands, including Marine, RD battalions, whatever, defense battalions, and they're going to go locations, but I'll show them when I actually get them moving. There is a detachment USN port. Okay, this is the support group. This is a support group that I have going down to Christmas Island to provide some naval support there, because I'm going to be building up some of these locations as well. These are a bunch of minesweepers that I have going back. This is some of the escorts headed towards California. We're keeping some dudes on anti-submarine patrol, and I'm sending even more destroyers back because I have a lot of tankers and stuff showing up as well, and I don't want to let them go back and forth unescorted just yet. And while I have a ton of transports and things that are going to be in San Francisco, I don't have the escorts. And while I have a ton of escorts in Pearl Harbor, I don't have the transports. So I'm just sending a bunch over there because they're going to come back either way. So, I'm just doing what I can manage to get done here. I believe I'm loading up a brand new, I forget if this is brand new or not, but I'm loading up a transport force here to go to Palmyra and deliver some supplies. I don't think I really have the transports to, say, bring supplies over to Christmas Island just yet. I mean, I probably do, but it could be risky. Yeah, I do think this is actually a new transport group. Oh yeah, I definitely set this up this turn. My other transports I have are like proper AKs, and they carry a lot. 6,200. These are actually pretty good. Christmas Island could use some replenishment. Maybe I could set one of these up. If I sent just like a single... Alright, let me sort this properly. A single AK, a single one of these. It moves pretty quickly. It's probably worth a lot too. 12 victory points for one AK. Oh man. And let's give it a destroyer as an escort. Well, no destroyer is really going to slow it down, so I don't really need to be picky on what I send. So let's send the... these are weird. Like, these ones can go further, but they move 1 knot slower. These ones can't go as far. I guess I'll send one of the faster ones that can't go as far with you. I like having things have an escort. Is that weird? I don't know, but This is going to take a whole bunch of supply out of here, and we're going to bring that down to Christmas Island, which is not short on supply, but because I intend on making a base over there, I might as well start sending supply there now. We're loading supplies. Dock up while you load them. And auto disband, retirement allowed, so that they'll return to Pearl Harbor and just auto disband when they get back. This is an atoll, but it doesn't have a stacking limit, so I believe I can put as many troops and things here as I want, which will be good. It has an engineer group on it already, so I'm not sending any other big engineer groups here. It doesn't have a lot of supplies, so I'm not building anything. I'll wait till I get some more supplies like I'm going to send there right now before I start actually doing more of that. I'm going to wait till some of the tankers get to Pearl Harbor because I don't actually have any tankers at Pearl Harbor. There's some right next door that I could send over right now. I was waiting till the submarines were gone. Where's this one going? I don't know where it's going. It's still kind of dangerously close, but I do have a lot of destroyers, escorts, and all that stuff around here, so maybe I can get these moving as well. Like I just said, you always find something else to do in this game. No matter how hard you try to get everything you can possibly get done, you always find some more stuff that you can do, or things that you second guess. Just going to auto disband that, return them to Pearl Harbor. They should get there in one turn. Literally half the turn, like maybe even before the sun even comes up. They should arrive at Pearl Harbor and disband, and then maybe I can get some tankers going, because I do want to get tankers going to Pago Pago, and I do want to get tankers going to New Zealand and maybe also Fiji from probably Hawaii, because I'm probably going to take all the fuel from San Fran, bring it to Hawaii, and then bring the fuel from Hawaii to New Zealand and the Pacific. The first of my troop transports reached Rabaul, but turns out I fucked something up while trying to load. So now I have to unload this detachment of the Lark Battalion so that next turn I can reform it and then reload it again because, yeah, I hit a button over here which canceled the loading and then it split off into a detachment. And since you can't load multiple groups onto one transport, now I have to wait while this unloads, try loading it again, and don't make the mistake again. It's annoying, but hey, what are you going to expect from a game from 2004? Well, not as much as you get with this, I'll tell you that much. Over in the Philippines, I'm splitting off some of the lightest transports, some XAKLs, to go to Balik Papan, where I found there's a good amount of supply and fuel, because there's a fuck ton of oil and refineries here. It's huge, actually. It's 1/3 of the oil of Palembang and roughly 1/3 of the refineries as well. Very important base. Too bad I don't have the troops to hold it. But I'm going to try to get whatever supply I can out of there and some AKLs and send it up to the Philippines, maybe also to Singapore. Whatever I can do to hold my ground. I'm making sure only to send the least valuable ones, the ones that are worth 1 victory point, as opposed to the ones that are worth 2. Is it really that big a deal? Probably not. But I'm sending literally every 1 VP AKL I can find in the vicinity over to Balik Papan to start draining it dry of supply. That rhymed. Looks like Tarakan also has a decent amount of oil and refineries. I don't know if it's exactly sufficient, self-sufficient in supply. Maybe I could get some of the AKs going over there. I don't know. We probably have 1 force that I can get going over there. So this is all going to Balik Papan. This one's made up of 3. I'll send this to Tarakan. At the very least, they would all drain it dry of supply, nearly. They would take about half of what's there right now. And that's how we can figure out if it's self-sustaining. It probably is. But only 1 group of these, maybe 2, would probably be able to drain anything out of here. It's going to suck to lose these places. We already know there's invasion forces coming for the whole northern coast of Borneo, so I'm not even going to try to send anything over there. I'm sending submarines. I'm micromanaging them still, but to keep track of where every single one is going and then rehash it is kind of a bit of a bitch. I do have some forces moving over here to try to counter what looks like another invasion force, I believe, either heading for this island or the main island from the southeast. I'm going to guess they're heading around to like Legazpi here or Atimonan, somewhere on the main island of Luzon. is going to be my guess. We have more forces arriving in the Philippines, but most of the troops haven't actually left like Bataan or Clarkfield, but they will. Like they're about to leave. I've gotten the B-17Ds out of Clarkfield and into Manila. No, not into Manila. Into Cagayan. The final B-17D fortress group here is actually just 3 planes. It can't fit any more, so I'm not in a rush to get it out. So I put it on naval attack. I put it to like 1,000 to try to like skip bomb, I think it's called. I don't know. I looked it up and apparently this is potentially a good idea. Maybe they'll attack this group here. Maybe they won't. Maybe they do and they get fucked up. Maybe I'm still doing the naval assignments wrong. I'm not sure. But otherwise, nothing exciting really happening over here. We do have this massive ass force which has arrived in Soar Baja, filled with some random crap I don't really care about. I'm just going to disband that there. I didn't actually assign every task force I sent everywhere to auto disband because when I gave my initial orders for like the first 10 hours, I didn't even know what auto disband meant, so I didn't use it. A lot of troop micromanaging in India, but most of it is just like, oh, troops are arriving in these locations. Get them out of strat mode, and that's literally it. I am loading up another unit here, actually. I think it's an Indian brigade. Yeah, it's an Indian brigade. I'm letting a patrol boat escort them. Ignore the red. The red is lying to you. And I'm going to bring them over to Rangoon because it is the final piece missing, I believe, that is not in Burma already. Yeah, for the 1st Burma Division. So I'm going to try to get that over there by sailing it over there. The patrol gunboat can move 112 hexes. I believe I'm reading that right. And they only need 76 to get there. What it's saying is, why it's red, is that it can't get back. But it's going to refuel when it's over there anyway. And I think Rangoon at least makes its own fuel. Yeah, Burma makes its own fuel, so that should be fine. That should work out handy dandy. I wasn't doing this already, but I've just decided to get all the cargo ships in Rangoon out of Rangoon, send it over to Calcutta, where I'm going to basically ship supplies in to Burma, which I still have a task force here loading up supplies. They're being very, very efficient at draining the supply in Calcutta. The supply is dwindling, but they're going to finish loading up, and they're going to get their supplies over here, and they're going to give Burma some supply, which it desperately needs. The Hermes has reached Colombo, and it is under repair. Put it in the shipyard. It'll be done in 6 days. It doesn't need to be in the shipyard, but there's nothing in the shipyard anyway, so I figured, hey, might as well. We had a bunch of troops arrive as well, all over the map, but namely in Aden and Cape Town, there's some units arriving. I don't really know what I'm going to do with any of them. A lot of them have withdraw timers. Regardless, I'm moving them into strat mode with the intention of probably moving them somewhere later anyway, like this Hussars group. I don't need to worry about where to send them until they're done packing up anyway, which for the AA units will be next turn, and for the Hussars will be 2 turns from now. In China, I've figured some things out. So, like I said last turn, I am going to send a group to attack this location. It doesn't need a garrison, but I'll probably just sit a corps on it just as a defensive force. I'm also going to send a corps from the same army group over to Anyang here. It's not set up just yet. I'll set it up next turn. I have to wait for them to arrive here first. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these names, so I'm just going to say here. I'm shipping all sorts of units around in other locations. Our first of several units has arrived in Xinjiang. It's a lone corps. I wish I had organized that better so it didn't get there alone, but it's there. It's there, and it's now cutting the rail line and probably pissing them off. I'm trying to get the army group over there as well, and this Chinese corps over here is getting there. It'll probably arrive around the same time as the army group. The second group army here is waiting on its other units, which I was just kind of meeting up before going in to Xinjiang, which I guess I don't really have to do. And these guys are making terrible time heading there, so you know what? You just go directly into Xinjiang, please. Thank you very much. I didn't want him crossing the river, so I know that's why I wasn't going to send him across. Or he's part of an entirely different army, I think. Yeah. These groups are with the second Chinese army, or whatever, second group army. So I'll move this one in ahead of time, because it's moving so slowly anyway. These guys I'll let link up with their army, which they're moving super slowly anyway, because they don't have a road, so it's still going to take them a couple days. So yeah, very poorly executed right here, but hey, what are you going to do? These units are all moving to Xinjiang. They're also moving slowly. They look like they'll arrive around the same time, though, and that's 2 more cores. Hopefully, there won't be a battle here, because if there is, it may not be good for us. I have decided that the force here at Yichang, which will take it over, like this turn, by the way, like we've arrived here. For some reason, the army didn't go. Either I didn't tell it to go there, or support units can't move into hostile hexes without other units already being there. I don't know how it works. But we will take Yichang next turn. They have completely abandoned it, and I have decided I'm going to leave the 33rd Group Army and its 2 corps in Yichang, and all these corps here belonging to the 26th Group Army and the 26th Group Army itself are going to probably head down to Hankow, where I can hopefully maybe do some damage. I don't know. Simultaneously, I was trying to figure out what to do with the 20th Group Army, which is over here and has a whole bunch of troops. And I have decided what to do with it finally. I'm going to march it down past Changsha towards Wuchang, so I can have a attack on Hankow and Wuchang going on at roughly the same time. Hopefully making it harder for them to defend both. Either way, sending relatively large forces. Each one of them has 5 or 6 corps or something. 1,000 plus AV, I believe, going for important bases. And you know, if one doesn't work out, I can just march units out of one hex to the other hex to support another offensive. Down here, we're still just playing on the defensive. They do have troops in Hong Kong, so the end of Hong Kong is coming. There's nothing I can do to stop this. Even if I rushed all the Chinese units here over to Canton, I don't think I can stop it. Hong Kong's going to fall, and it's going to be a good chunk of VP that we're going to lose, and a decent chunk of VP that they're going to gain. Nothing I can do about it. Too bad. So sad. Oh well. Now, I have gotten all the bombers on the front line on ground attacks. They don't have any escorts, but they're not very important, and I don't think the AI knows to have escorts over where I'm bombing. So I have these 2 DB3M groups here, I believe 7 aircraft total, try to bombard these 2 units here. I have the 9 Hudsons trying to go for the forces at Hong Kong. And now at Changsha, we have more. We have SB3 medium level bombers. And I've set my target to Wuchang, I think? No, to Nanchang, which is right here, which I'm also planning on attacking. I'm just letting groups meet up before I do it. I just realized this isn't the 30th Group Army. It's heading east. How does it plan on linking up here? Oh, it plans on going here and here. I see. I'm trying to link up these 2 forces together, and then I want to move them into Nanchang to go on the offensive. Will any of these offensives work? I don't know. I'm a new player. I might just get all my troops killed. Who knows? But, hey man, Chinese troops are technically infinite, so let's do it. Not much changing in Malaysia. You know, Kota Baru fell. The troops are trying to march away. One is still disorganized. More troops have arrived in Singapore. More ships have arrived in Singapore as well. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them yet. There's some 8Ks, there's some 8Ps, there's some extra HDMLs. There's some destroyers. I think I was going to use the destroyer to escort a lot of what was coming here out of here, because I believe most of this is coming from the Dutch. But I do believe I was waiting on this light cruiser, which has one more day in the shipyard, so that's what I'll probably do, is I'll just wait on that. Singapore's aviation support is improving rapidly as more engineers arrive, so maybe I'll be able to redistribute a lot of the AVPs and AVDs I'm sending here up to Rangoon, which will be the next major target that actually needs this kind of support. Maybe Port Blair as well if I want to use it as an air base. Who knows? And that's everything that I can remember to show you this term. For the most part, we're just waiting for things that I've already ordered to go places to arrive where they're gonna arrive. So let's end the order phase without any further ado and see what hell awaits us, what the Japanese have in store for us, and who we're gonna lose. Alright, so we have... Oh, great! More forces unloading at Wake Island. Yeah, well, Wake Island's definitely not holding on now. Our coastal defense guns are managing to get some hits on some AMCs. I believe those are merchant ships. Yeah, the AMC Konglomerat. 3 shell hits on it. It's on fire. I guess it's already unloaded its troops then. But apparently they're unloading more troops. And they are unloading troops in the Philippines, as we can expect. A Dutch sub is firing at a cruiser mine layer, and I guess it missed or got a hit but no explosion, and now it's getting depth charged. Some near misses, no hits just yet. Hopefully it just gets away without a scratch. Let's skip through it. Ah, no, it was hit twice, unfortunately. What are you gonna do? And there's a raid over Singapore. Oh. Where's my planes? Allied medium bombers damaged. I have planes up here. I have escort. They're not tied directly to Singapore. Oh, it's a night raid. I don't have any night cap. Let me make a note. Put night cap up over Singapore, because I need to do that. I have some Blenheim IFs that could run night raids. Unfortunately, they damaged a Hudson. But apparently we damaged 4 of the Sallies that raided us. So as long as they don't repeat this, then I should be able to get those Blenheim IFs patrolling at night. Just in time to stop a second raid, hopefully. They're doing the same thing on Guam. We don't have anything to stop them on Guam. Why are they doing so many night raids all of a sudden? Victoria Point? Alright, I guess are Sally's night bombers? I don't know. Here's another raid. 5 casualties, just a disabled non-combatant squad. More amphibious troops unloading at Wake. Oh man. No hits on the forces. More unloading at the Philippines. God, why? Now we're proceeding into the daytime. More action at Wake Island and more ineffectiveness on our coastal defense guns. The SS Sargo is firing at and missed a enemy transport. Yep. Oh, it's firing more and missing more. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh yes, we got a hit! We got a hit! Explosion below the waterline. Wait, you're what? Hit but no explosion. So we just got a hit but no explosion on a torpedo, but the Sargo is... Okay, just hit it with another torpedo. It went above water and started shooting the enemy with its deck gun. So we got 2 deck gun hits and 2 torp hits on the Tioko Maru, and now it's on fire and has heavy damage. Let's complete this. Oh, you hear that sound? That's the sound of that transport sinking. Hell yeah. What is this? Submarine attack near Baalbek. Elects not to launch torpedoes at this target. Why? Why? It's a perfectly good transport. You should have shot it. Probably wasn't aggressive enough. I've changed out a lot of my sub-commanders, so I didn't forget to do that. Betty's bombing Changsha. Nothing I could do about that. They got 1 damage. They got some runway hits. Some more Betty's bombing. Ooh, like 22 runway hits. Ew, that hurts. Now some Nels. 4 runway hits. Ew, stop it. That's gonna drain supply. Hong Kong's being bombed. What a surprise. They're trying to bomb the fortress itself. No real effect. Sonya's coming in for the same purpose. No real effect. What? Oh, here's comes some of my bombers. They do have Tojos escorting. Well, I guess they're escorting, you know, their bombers, so naturally, I guess they're up here. I was hoping it was more long-range cap, so yeah, we might lose some stuff. We lost a bomber for sure. One got through and got damaged, but it got some bombs off. No real effect. Hudsons are coming in, and Nates are defending this regiment. Hopefully we could do some damage. No losses on either side, and really no effect. Sad face. They're reconning. My B-17D fortresses are coming in on Babel, whatever, and trying to bomb some of the ships. I can't believe they actually went out for something. That's funny. They got one of the fortresses damaged. They have some quads defending. Oh man, let's do we get any through? Yes, they both get through. I don't know how. Oh my god, that's a light carrier. That's a light carrier that we're trying to bomb, man. No. Hit it. Ah, come on, damn it. Oh, well. They both got damaged, the ones that made it through. They tried to get a light carrier, and you know what? Good on you. Good on you, but you failed. You failed me, and I will never forgive you. Let's skip through this crap. Whew. Something was getting fucked up. Some Nels are bombarding one of our task forces to no real effect. Let me make a note to, by the way, cancel Chinese bombing forces, because really they're not being effective. I may just take them off the front line and put the fighters up front instead and just try to run cap maybe over some locations. The thing is, the Flying Tigers don't have very good range. I could put them over to like Changsha maybe, but even Changsha doesn't have the aviation support for him. That's why I haven't done it yet. And the Kido Butai is raiding Johnston Island. Of course it is. This is why I didn't leave the destroyer minesweepers out. Maybe I should have. I don't really have anything to defend this. So let's just skip through it. We have 4 casualties, 1 disabled non-combatant squad, 1 Kate damaged. They got some runway hits, but at the end of the day, this is kind of a waste. I don't know why they did this. Nels bombarding Rangoon. Huh. They destroyed a combat squad. Let me make another note. Let's get a cap over... Alright, well, put up cap over Rangoon. I know I have some fighters there. I think I wasn't running them because I was trying to maintain some, I don't know, aviation support, because I don't have enough there, but if they're going to start bombing it, clearly I need some escort running over there. I should have set it up in advance, but I didn't. Oh well, at least it's only one day. That's a good, like, not a week didn't go by, so that's good. And raid bombing, no real effect. Sally's bombing. They're not bombing anything important, or Lily's bombing. God, why are you running all these bombing raids? What do you think you're going to accomplish? More Lily's bombing. 4 non-combatant squads disabled. Damn, dude. I really need to get some escort up there. Just specifically on Rangoon. Another Lily group? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, shit. Nels bombarding that naval force. Looks like no hits. And we damaged one of the Nels. An S-boat. I didn't realize I had an S-boat up here. Trying to torp a PB boat, which I think is one of their transports, and failing. Let's just skip through that. I don't want S-boats over here, actually. S-boat south of Formosa. I'm going to write that down as a little note to me. Help me keep track of things. I don't want them going too far away. Oh, Legazpi. Legazpi. I knew it was going there. I did predict it, did I not? God, I can only imagine how many troops they're unloading. Woo, this is going to be fun, isn't it? At least they're still unloading. Day by day, they're not ready to fight us over Manila yet. I think a lot of this is just our troops moving now, yes. I see more troops arriving in Singapore. Oh, that was a division, I believe. I believe our Indian division is leaving Madras this turn and going towards the border. Yeah, you can see all sorts of railroad and road movements I have going on right now. Ooh, whole bunch getting to San Francisco as well. A lot of troops probably arriving in Manila. I'll pay attention to the operational reports. So the Japanese are doing a deliberate attack on my unit outside Sinyang, so I do get a 2x defensive bonus since they did go on the offensive, but this is exactly what I was hoping wouldn't happen. The defender has the advantage of terrain and leaders. I thought I would get the advantage. I don't know why they did. They didn't lose anything, apparently, and we got a whole bunch of units disabled, so this is exactly what I was hoping wouldn't happen. What a shame. We did get some corps arriving in Pao To, and they are bombarding our forces there. They weren't there, they just got there. They have a shock attack at Hong Kong. Oh, man. And... Oh, wow. So they had an advantage due to shock. We had an advantage due to terrain and a penalty due to experience. We got 2 squads destroyed, 1 vehicle destroyed, and then this many disabled. 222 casualties total. They got 1,614 casualties, mostly troops disabled. 6 squads destroyed, 2 guns destroyed, and a vehicle lost. While that may look really, really good, this disabled means they're just going to get back up and start fighting us again. Remember, Hong Kong's a lost cause, but hopefully we can really give them a fight. The fact that they just failed a shock attack is pretty big. They attacked us with 16,000 troops to our 6,604. I hope we can hold them. But even though this was a favorable result, it's not going to make that much of a difference in the long run. This is a Pari getting taken over. We don't have any troops to defend it. Yep. This is Vigan being taken over. Yep. Nothing to defend it. Wake Island being attacked again by an SNLF force. I guess they added more to the SNLF force. We had 1 squad disabled. Nothing destroyed. What was that? A bombardment attack? Oh, okay, so they're just bombarding us. They're not willing to go on a deliberate attack again. So this wasn't as bad of a turn as I thought it would be. We have some forts expanding and being built, which is nice. Oh. Jesus Christ, my game like froze up during that phase. Some units arriving at San Francisco, Eastern USA, but other than that, not a whole lot of stuff actually arriving anywhere. And before I get a chance to forget about it, yeah, I do not have any escorts up over Rangoon, so I'm going to just set that up right now. I'm going to get 50% cap, minimum range over Rangoon, and I'm just going to leave that up. Basically, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to leave this up at all times and let them do their thing. I do want to get more escorts over there, and technically I do have some flying tigers over here, which I could maybe get doing their own thing as well. But what's their range actually? 5, and this is 4, so maybe that's an idea. So let me put flying tigers question mark, and maybe we'll do that. I don't know, but that was the turn of December 10th. We are now in December 11th. Hells to the fucking yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.